Hey everybody, I'm recording this with in my car. I got the Joby here on my cell phone, Google Pixel if you're interested. Try something new. So, in this video we're going to talk about WordPress professionals. What does that mean to be a WordPress professional? This is a kind of like a subset or a specialization in web design and web development. Something I called, I think in 2006, I wrote a blog about it. I wrote a blog about it, and I called these professionals, these WordPress professionals, I called them WordPress web designers, and I see them as a specialization within web design and development, and it presents a huge amount of opportunities. Why? Because 30% of the world's websites approximately are WordPress based. And I would guess that a lot more in terms of percentage of small business websites are WordPress. If you have a small business, there's a high probability that their website is based on WordPress. And what that means is you have a huge market. And what that means is you have a huge market in terms of potential clients that are out there, people who have WordPress sites or they want WordPress sites and they need to have them set up or need some configurations done, etc., 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 etc. The other reason there's such a huge opportunity is because a lot of developers and designers simply don't want to work with WordPress. They just don't like it. It's not very popular. It's kind of like plumbing. WordPress is the plumbing of the web design and development industry. Plumbing, fixing the pipes and stuff. Plumbing is, people are sort of like, I don't want to do plumbing. So plumbers make a fortune. And they have unlimited work because it's just, there's so much work out there and people don't want to do it. WordPress is in a similar situation where there's tons of work in WordPress. And because there's tons of work and because a lot of web designers and web developers don't want to do WordPress, therein lies a huge opportunity for those professionals who want to deal with that market exclusively. The other reason why it's such a potentially lucrative market to get into is because WordPress is it's a blog, it's an app, it's a content management system, a CMS. And it's also an ecosystem. There are WordPress theme providers, there are WordPress plugins, there's all kinds of, there's a whole world, ecosystems based around WordPress. So one of the roles as a WordPress professional is to understand that ecosystem really well. And so that when a client comes to you and needs to get a certain thing done for their small business site or their business site, which is based on WordPress, you will know how to approach it best. You will know what plugins are out there, which are safe, which are not safe, what are the options, what theme providers are best to go to, where to pick up a theme, that kind of thing. This is all part of being a WordPress professional. Now, in addition to understanding the ecosystem, of course, you have to understand the basics, how to install WordPress, how to configure it, how to make sure it's locked down and secure, so you understand the user roles, this kind of thing. And your job as a WordPress professional will be to educate your clients in terms of all these things. So in addition to that, in terms of skill sets, you need to know, of course, you got to be comfortable with your HTML5, your CSS3. You need these two things so that you can edit and work with themes. And you need to know just a touch of JavaScript, maybe a touch of jQuery, and a little bit of PHP. All these skills you can get these skills in the Studio Web courses on HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP. Yes, shameless plug, but you don't need to be a master JavaScript coder, not even close to that to be a WordPress professional. You don't need to be a master PHP developer to be a WordPress professional. You have to be a scripter. That's the terminology that I would use. You have to be a PHP scripter. So a PHP scripter is somebody who knows their way around PHP, is comfortable with it, can go in there, edit 20 lines of PHP, maybe build a simple plugin, not a full-blown app developer. So you have to have skills in software development and coding, but you're not a full-blown developer. So it's kind of like a middle ground between strictly web designer, coder, and developer. And you add in that your WordPress skills, your WordPress knowledge, that makes up the profession of the WordPress developer or WordPress professional. And there's a huge amount of money to be made. The final point about this is that because WordPress is an ecosystem, because WordPress is a system, you can develop highly efficient workflows as a result. Highly efficient workflows that will allow you to get the jobs done so much more quickly than you would otherwise. So this means your per hour rate could skyrocket once you really solidify these workflows. And that's really one of the major keys to all this. So just to recap, number one, there's a huge demand because so many small businesses work on WordPress. Number two, a lot of developers and designers, they don't want to work with WordPress. They don't like it. They're afraid of it, whatever it is. And number three, because WordPress is a finite ecosystem, you will be able to put together in time a nice, efficient workflow that will really maximize your time, which means will increase your profitability big time. So yes, WordPress professionals, as I did in a recent video, I said, should you learn WordPress in 2017? My answer is yes. I want to expand upon that, what this meant. And anyway, I hope you find this video useful. Bye-bye.